Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So yesterday when I did a show, I was talking about, we found out that, unfortunately, David Wilcock supposedly passed away. Supposedly, I say, because I don't know, right? So there's lots of speculation out there. We're going to go into some of that, tied into, I believe, the 11. So the 11 that we know of right now, of course, this has been going on for a long time. It's decades of this going on. And what we're going to find out is, why, and some of the people that are involved in, making people disappear for one reason or another. And some of those people that disappear from life, right? And some of those people just go missing, just disappear without any trace. So there are different groups, obviously, that are involved in this, and we're going to talk about that, right? Now, so I did another show after that. Had Juan O'Savin on and David Kinney. We're talking about the corruption, school bonds, and so forth. And then Juan, there's like, it's like boom, 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 boom. And so his screen went blank. And so we found out later that there's a little scuffle and Juan is okay, right? Because afterwards I was like, that's really strange that we still see, Juan's video cut out and the sound cut out. And there was all that noise there. So I was hoping that he was okay, but he called later and said that he'd been in a little scuffle. Now, being in a little scuffle with Juan is because Juan has been around a long time, guys. And as you guys know, Juan moves around independently for the most part. So, he's involved in some, high level stuff, and he exposes a lot of high level stuff. So I'd kind of heard that Juan has skills to, deal with problems, right? On a physical level, if need be. And I was like, that explains a lot of things, because I can move around in a lot of sketchy areas because I have a lot of skills. Right. So knowing that Juan has a lot of skills, I'll leave it up to him if he tells a story about, the little scuffle. And it's pretty funny, actually. So that's why Juan dropped out. Now, Juan also said he may join us later. We couldn't get a confirmation. He wanted to share some stuff about Tina Peters. That's pretty revelatory. And it would be pretty wowzer if he was able to come in and talk about that. But Tina Peters, things seem to be moving in a good direction. So that's all I can say right now. It's up to Juan to release that stuff. So, all right. Let's look at, the situation with David Wilcock. We'll go into that. Now, I've been to events that David did in Hawaii. We met him in person. Really, really one of the most incredible guys you'll ever meet, right? And his research was impeccable during the time frames. He was very big in the UFO reveal information. He did a lot of stuff on Gaia, and had some problems with Gaia. I don't know what happened, but he was one of the reasons Gaia blew up, and then Gaia went after him, right? And kind of destroyed him, right? And I guess according to Corey Good, who they also kicked out and went after, and that's up to Gaia. I've been to Gaia. I have secret space program stuff that I revealed at Gaia. So whatever is going on there, whatever happened, that's all up to those guys. There's lawsuits going on, all kind of crazy stuff. So it was pretty tragic. But getting back to David, right? So David, let's look at, there's a lot of information that's out there. Corey Good actually came out. He was pretty distraught, and he talked about how David was constantly under attack. I watched David for well over a decade, maybe a couple decades. Juan even said that he knew David when he got out of high school. It's like, Juan, is there anyone you don't know? Like, geez. So we talked about David a little bit. So, and he's still, Juan is still doing his own research into that situation. And, Juan is not going to reveal everything, just like I'm not going to reveal everything. And we can't for multiple reasons. One, to make sure we continue to live on this earth. And another is that, some of this information, it's not time for it to be released. And those people that are controlling the information, it's up to them to a certain extent. Now, a lot of people I want to know the truth and only the truth, and I should get it right now. They've never been in a situation where if you reveal that stuff, you would die, right? And they don't understand that. So I don't knock those people. It is what it is. And we'll get the truth, guys. It will come. So famous UFO researcher David Wilcock dead from apparent suicide. So this hasn't been, confirmed. We don't even know if it's him, because that's the way they treat these things. It could look a lot like him. He could have a wallet on him that has his information on him, his picture and everything. And they still will do an investigation and won't release, this until they've done the investigation. So 2 days after posting video warning about how it's scary that scientists are going missing. So I haven't reported on this myself, but it is, it's a good time to do it. Right. But, there's many of us that are, under threat, and many of us that, like myself, that release information on the secret space program. If you get too close to home and stuff and you could be just like me, you could just be winging it out there, not really realizing. And this is how I got myself in trouble one time with these baddies. I was just winging out information. I'll talk about that in a minute. And my life turned upside down. They destroyed my life, and they tried to kill me many times and still try to, I believe. So he previously posted, and this was years ago, that he was not suicidal. Now, you can go back and look at his video on YouTube. It's still available from his last show. I think he did it on Sundays, usually when he would do his shows. And, he's got the angry daddy. It's funny. It's a funny guy. He's an actor. He had he was an excellent musician, excellent researcher. He could act really well. It was just an amazing guy. Now, when you look at him, if you're looking at this picture right there, looks like a little guy, right? But I met him in person. He's like, I don't know, 6'3", 6'5", something. He's pretty tall, right? And he knows martial arts, or knew. I'm kind of talking about him in the present tense, but Juan and I were talking about it a little bit, and I said he didn't know that he lived in Boulder County, Colorado, and he said, "Oh, that you never want to live in Boulder, Colorado." I was like, "Okay." And we obviously Tina Peters is in Colorado, so there's a lot of problems in Colorado, guys. If you can get out of Colorado, I would probably recommend you do that. Who knows how long the problem's going to last there, and how crazy it's going to get there. I read stuff on Colorado all the time. I'm like, geez, these guys just keep pushing the envelope on stupid. And I don't see how people continue to allow this to happen. But it is what it is. Now, Representative Anna Paulina Luna even, put out yesterday. We just learned. So I guess they have, more insights, being congressional representatives, of the tragic passing of David Wilcock. So I think it's pretty at this point, we can say definitively that in one way or another, he's no longer going to be out in front of us, right? Right. See, you like the way I say that? He's no longer going to be out in front of us. Whether that changes in the future remains to be seen, or whether he's really dead remains to be seen. And we'll just kind of talk a little bit about that. It says, we are praying for his family and loved ones and the millions of lives he impacted. So, like I said, he was an incredible person. He had really good intuition. He, like me, he tapped into Archangel Michael, and he wrote books on that. I think I got read every one of his books. I did several of his courses. Like I said, I went to one of his events. Really outstanding guy. Watched him for years. Followed him. Great information. So definitely going to be missed in the public eye, right? So he's 53, was a well-known figure in ufology. This is key, ufology, because they protect that information and they will kill you if you breach a certain line. They will kill you, right? They control it very aggressively. So, and he did alternative research circles. Some of the people that he worked with in the past, I worked with them as well. So, outstanding pedigree, in his research, and the people that he connected with and moved up the ladder in sharing information. He authored multiple New York Times bestsellers, appeared regularly on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens, and served as Director of Advanced Technology for Stavati Aerospace. He had been vocal about government disclosure on unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP or UFOs or whatever's going to be the like misdirection term they're going to use next week, right? Because just when you think you've got this down, they're going to like throw you a curveball, like unidentified anomalous phenomena. Like what? That's quite a mouthful, you knuckleheads. And advanced technologies, especially speaking to over 500,000 people who subscribe to him on YouTube. So he was very adept at keeping his YouTube channel. He did a really good job during the time frame, and he knew the words not to say over time. He really did, I think, love humanity on a great level, or does, all right? So just 2 days before his death, Wilcock went on live on YouTube and made chilling remarks about a pattern of deaths in his community. I'm excited to be here. Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing. And I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing, he said. It's a little bit scary, right? And so you can watch that. That's at about 10:30, I believe it is. So I watched that. And of course, he does an angry daddy in the beginning. It's funny. He was, like I said, he was really, really good guy in a lot of different ways, right? All right. So my dear family, he said on the live stream just before, the day before, he said, my dear family, I am not yet sure if I am doing a show tomorrow. I've had some very intense stuff going on this weekend. Now, I remember there was a time long ago, I'd say 5, 6, maybe even further, where he came on and he was very distraught on the air. And he said that he had been told that he was being targeted. And, he was told that to stay alive, he needed to come out and talk more. Right. And that's one of the things, obviously, I do a lot of. All right. So it is one of those things that can, or not, in his case, unfortunately, not necessarily keep you going, but it can keep you going and so forth. So he says, we live in a loving universe. I am very grateful to you all for all your love, care, and support. So almost sounds like he knew that maybe something was up, right? The timing has raised eyebrows among followers, especially given Wilcock's past statements, pushing back against any belief that he would kill himself. So this is back in 2022, December 11th, 2022. I plan on living, not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real, right? So as we have detailed in multiple articles, the FBI Director Kash Patel has launched a major investigation into the mysterious deaths and disappearances of at least 11 high-level U.S. scientists with access to classified information in nuclear, aerospace, propulsion. To see how they don't say anti-gravity, right? But propulsion, missile technology, and UAP-related programs. All right, so that is how we start this, all right? And now we go down the rabbit hole, right? I know you guys like going down rabbit holes, and that's kind of what we're going to do now. All right, so the word is that there was a call to a, I guess, crisis, maybe not crisis here, but the sheriff's office or whatever. So somebody, David or somebody, called a crisis line and said that David Wilcock was distraught and blah, 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 right? So within about 15 to 20 minutes, the sheriffs arrived on the scene, and there was David with a gun in his hand, and then he shot and killed himself. So I don't really understand, that line. Who would do that? Definitely, that's not David. So if you're going to kill yourself, why would you go outside and the cops show up and then you kill yourself, right? So there's some problems there if that's really what was going on as far as what happened, right? So let me take you to Milton William Cooper, right? So this was someone in the distant past that was killed in a shootout with cops, right? So now William Bill Cooper, he passed away in November 5th. So this is after September 11th, which he predicted, in 2001, right? Was an American conspiracy theorist. So of course, this is Wikipedia. So they're going to put the bullshit in there, guys. And they're gonna make him look like they want him to look. The CIA and the people that are controlling the information about the UAPs or the UFOs, or however you want to call them. So Cooper also described HIV/AIDS as a man-made disease. So they're kind of making him look like a kook, right? If you're just coming into this and you don't have any idea of how all this stuff is manipulated and controlled by the deep state and is inserted, all these different diseases. Of course, Fauci was involved in the HIV stuff. And so he basically, they say he was a militia guy. He was always pushing militia stuff. He said he was killed in 2001 by sheriff's deputies after he shot at them during an attempted arrest. So maybe they wanted David to appear to have committed suicide, because we know how they do suicidal stuff, right? So I've heard some people out there talking about how David was suicidal. I don't know what these guys' backgrounds are, but there's going to be misinformation and information that's going to go out there. So you just need to be aware of that, guys. So early life and education, he was in the United States Navy. And he claimed, they said, to have served in the United States Navy, United States Air Force, and Naval Intelligence. So the Naval Intelligence in the United States Navy is absolute. However, they can clean public records, and public records only indicate a period of service in the Navy with a ratings of E5, which is basically E5 petty officer second class in the Navy, or sergeant in the rest of the military. So he did a tour of duty in Vietnam with 2 service medals. At the end of the war, while working at Naval Intelligence, Cooper served on a briefing team for Admiral Bernard A. Clary. He then attended a junior college in California. So he was being groomed for something. I know, because I was groomed throughout my career. And they don't just send you to these schools just because you're there, right? So he worked for several technical and vocational schools before making his conspiracy theories known, beginning in 1988. Cooper expanded the speculations of earlier conspiracies by incorporating government involvement. So it goes on to talk about how he, during his career, had seen stuff. So it talks about he was serving aboard in 1966. He was serving aboard the USS Tiru when he and fellow Navy personnel witnessed a metal craft larger than a football field repeatedly enter and exit the water. Now, Tim Burchett I've heard him speaking because he's really one of those good congressmen, I believe, like Luna Paulina. So I think that, or Paulina Luna, whatever her name is, she and he are probably some of the good guys in the Congress, but there's few others, right? So Tim Burchett, he's from, I think, Tennessee. He's from Tennessee, and he's part of the UFO, discovery type stuff. So I've heard him say that he talked to, in his house, an admiral that told him, just like that, football field sized craft that traveled in and out of the water, and in the water they would go 200 miles an hour. There's nothing that we have. Submarines, maybe 40, maybe 50, I don't know. Maybe they're not revealing. Maybe they can go 100 miles an hour, but I doubt it. But maybe. But this thing's like cruising as a football field size craft moving at 200 miles an hour, right? So pretty interesting. So it goes on to talk about how he talked to John Lear. Lear was the son of Learjet founder Bill Lear, and he was identified as a pilot that flew missions for CIA, and he talked a lot about the UFO cover-up. Now, Kerry Cassidy did like 4 hours of, total of 4 hours of shows with John Lear. I just recently, I'd watched some of it before in the past, long ago, and I just watched all 4 hours of it more recently. That's available, and I'll show you. That's available on her website, and we'll look at that in a minute. But it is pretty phenomenal, all the information that he was talking about, and now it's being revealed. So same thing with Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper was revealing all kinds of crazy stuff. Cooper described the Illuminati as a secret international organization controlled by the Bilderberg Group that conspired with the Knights of Columbus, Masons, Skull and Bones, and other organizations. Its ultimate goal, he said, was the establishment of a new world order. So he's talking about this in his book, which what was that? What was the book? I've read it before. It's in here somewhere. Where is that? The name of that book? I want to say, but I want to make sure I say it right. Anyway, I'll find it here in a minute. It's in this article. Dang it. Somebody knows it, just throw it in the chat and I'll say it. So behold a pale horse. That's it. Thank you. Ride a pale horse? No. Close. Behold a pale horse. Truth of Mike. Thanks. All right. So it is. I remember reading that book long ago. Now, I guess he knew Juan, and that they were friends, right? And Juan has talked about him several times. And in The Called, the movie that Juan did, he goes to his gravesite, and I don't know if he left some flowers, but he talked about it on his way to Washington, D.C. It's a very, very interesting gentleman. Juan obviously thought very highly of him. So He talked about a lot of different things. He had his own radio show. He was revealing stuff, and they got tired of him revealing, so they came out and shot him, in my opinion. They attempted to arrest Cooper at his Edgar, Arizona home on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and endangerment stemming from disputes. They can, with local residents, they can build this up to, make anything happen. And so anyway, they said that he shot the head of one of the arresting officers, and then they fatally shot him. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, before they had, body cams. Did they have a body cam for David? All right. Can we see that? So it'll be interesting, this stuff going forward. Now let's look at the 11 different people that have disappeared, because I think that David is within this group, right? I think they're trying to send a message. I think some of these people may have actually legitimately been killed by this, MJ12 group or whatever, whoever's doing this. Majestic 12 people, Majestic level of way above top secret. Not even the president has access to it, which is insane, right? So the way they protect this stuff is they formed it into corporations. So corporations, some of these, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and I don't know if Boeing's involved in it, but there's, they push this stuff into development of some of these secret technologies into the corporate side, so that Tim Burchett was talking about this, so they can't have Freedom of Information Act on them. So if it's in a corporation, then the government can't go into the corporation. So that's, I believe, one of the reasons why they push these into the corporation, so they keep this stuff secret. And then they got a group of people that, if you start to get wise to their stuff, or you get out of line working for them, they'll kill you. All right. Suicide you, or, something worse. I don't know what that might be, but it could be something worse. All right. Directed energy weapons, where you fry. Yeah, I've had a little bit of that, actually. And heart attack machine, all kind of crazy stuff, that come to me from a lot of different things. But you will, see that all these people are disappearing, like David Wilcock, and they're trying to, force a situation so that you'll not go in that direction. So they continue to control this information. So if you were to look into this, like a David Wilcock, or some of these other scientists or whatever, and you had information that they wanted to control, and they couldn't control you, you weren't part of their team, you weren't part of the Illuminati, or Luciferian cult or whatever, they're going to do away with you. Now, I think the White Hats, and Carrie Cassidy actually said that she believes that David is alive, and she was taken into a program. I know that there's a lot of people who have gone into those programs, protective programs. So is he in one of those programs? I don't know. But I kind of feel that he is, right? So we'll talk more about that. But for right now, we're going to have Mel come on and talk about staying alive, right?
How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're strong.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm watching you backstage, and I'm saying, oh my God, a lot of people are saying red flags. I'm on the phone with the police department, the sheriff's department today. I'm hunting them down like a wildebeest.
Good man.
Okay. And they are pissed off that I'm even asking tough questions, and I don't give a shit. I recorded them, and I'm turning it into a podcast. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. Yeah. Okay. That's how I feel. And there's more coming. I'm not done with it. I told them, I'm an independent journalist. I'm a podcaster. I'm a filmmaker. I'm this, I'm that, whatever. And I am. And I want to know. I says, you said he killed himself. You don't say how. Did he kill himself with a machete, a knife, a gun? What caliber gun? Is it a 22? Is it a 9mm? Is it 38? Is it a 380? Is it a 357 Magnum? What is it?
Yeah.
Do you have any footage? I guess you guys get called in a 911. You guys got to have some footage.
That's
by law. You have to have the cameras rolling when you pull up to the crime, the scene of the crime. Yep. I want to see the video of him committing suicide. Where's the video? Where's the body? Where's the morgue that has his body? Where's a lot of things, right?
Good job.
And they can't answer the questions, and they're like, well, somebody else picked up the phone. Well, I'm talking for so and so, and I don't have to answer to you. And I got it all on tape.
Nice.
You
Yeah,
know?
Colorado's they're pretty out there. So it's not a good place to live. And if you're going to get caught up in something like this, that's going to suck.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. But you know, this thing stinks to high heaven because this guy had an exotic company that produces exotic technology that messes with the petrol industry. And the day after, supposedly or allegedly, that he's gone, the website gets shut down. I know there are people that work for that company. Those people need to come forward, whoever those people are. You understand? There's just too many anomalies that don't make any sense.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
You're hot on it too. Good.
Yeah,
Good, man.
Absolutely. I'm hot on their trail, as they say.
Very good.
So but anyway, brother, thank you for inviting me.
Don't you dare scroll.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go.
I'm getting your videos ready.
Oh, cool. Let's do that.
Which one would you like to look at first?
It's up to you, man. It's a movie about the straw man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's get some power. It's high energy.
Stop! Don't you dare scroll. What if I told you you're already worth hundreds of millions of dollars? And they're hiding it from you for your entire life. Not a theory, not a guess, actual proof. Everything you think you know about money is a lie. Everything you were taught in school was designed to keep you blind, stupid, and programmed.
Every time you signed your name, every contract, every form, every loan, you weren't just agreeing, you were funding a system that's been profiting off you. They created a twin of you, a legal version, an all caps identity. That's traded like a financial instrument, a bond, generating interest on top of interest on your life. Your energy, your work, your existence turned into profit, but not for you. Your government knows, Big Pharma knows, the hospitals know.
The system is broken. It's working exactly how it was designed, just not in your favor. Karish?
This film was made at a 3rd and 4th grade level. Not because you're dumb, but because we've all been dumbed down, stripped of truth, buried under complexity. That ends now. Dear Mr. President, show me the money. A film that exposes in precise, undeniable detail what they prayed you'd never question.
If it pisses you off, good. It means you're waking up.
If it makes you uncomfortable, that's the truth knocking. This movie was intended to hit you hard. If you feel like you have to tell everyone you know, then it did exactly what it was engineered to do.
Because if enough people see it, understand it, and move on it, there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of...
Your audio went out for some reason. On my side, anyway. Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yep.
There you go.
I had it on mute. Sorry.
No worries. You're good. I got a crazy dog over there. You're gonna wait, buddy. Okay, you're gonna take a number and wait in line like everybody else. Anyway, you know, yeah, you like the trailer, right? Isn't that awesome? And look, again, investigative journalism. We are uncovering the truth, and no one can deny that that's exactly what it is. That they've been trading our marriage license, our birth certificate, our hunting license, our speeding tickets, our parking tickets. Everything we signed for, your car, you think you own a car, you think you own a Lamborghini, but yet you have a registration. Well, guess what? If you don't pay that registration, the state can come pick up your Lamborghini because it belongs to the state. It doesn't belong to you, you foolish people out there. Okay. And your driver's license is traded. Everything you do in life, there's so many things. Bonds. There. You ever hear my name is my bond? My name is a bond. The terminology, my name is a bond. Okay, in other words, you could take it to the bank that I will pay you. Well, they brainwashed us to say that. Well, your social security number is your bond number. And they've been trading you like cattle, the twin, the guy that doesn't exist, which is part of a corporation, corpse, meaning a dead entity. All right. And everybody's worth a minimum 200 million, 300 million. And a lot of you are worth 500 million, 800 million. Some of you are worth billions of dollars. David Strait saw accounts upwards of $35 billion. It's in the movie. We show the proof. When I say capisce, that means, do you understand in Italian?
Yes, I capisce. So it's going to be very interesting when this video comes out and the response from it. Now, you did that show there at the Cape Canaveral area, and how did that go?
Oh my God, that was freaking! We just literally captured lightning in a bottle. It was energetic. It was a spiritual movement. It was spiritual enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. People just didn't want to leave. Juanito was on stage till 11:30 at night. Did you ever hear of Juanito going to an event, staying on stage? If he would have stayed till 2 o'clock in the morning, the last 60 people would have left when he get done speaking. I had to literally drag him off stage, say, "I got some pizza backstage for you," and it was so funny.
You had some good. You get some good pizza too. A good place.
Yeah, he's hysterical. He really loved our crowd. He loved the location. He loved staying alive. He wants to talk to me now. I don't know what he wants to talk to me about, but I think he might want to do I don't know, just a hunch. I think he might want to do another event down in Cape Canaveral, and he might be on stage with a guy you might remember. I think you're old enough to remember a guy by the name of Bill Gould.
Oh yeah.
Remember Bill Gould, the Equinox ex-CEO, which I'm very, very good friends with.
Nice.
He might be on stage with Juanito on the next one. Just a little hunch, a little birdie telling me this.
Well, there's one a fraud event we did, bond fraud or bond gate in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and we're gonna do another one I believe in June. And Juan's talking about doing 3 other ones, even larger events across the country. So that might be what he's
yes. So I don't know if he wants to use our location, because I think he likes the small location with 200, 220 people or so. It's more controllable, et cetera, et cetera. He wanted to make sure we had enough security. God, we went overboard on security. I think
very important.
There was 29 people with guns that they were like marksmen in the crowd. You know what I mean? It was like, are you crazy? Security. I said, you don't know who the security is when I was up on stage. I says, because we don't have shirts and marked. We got these little things in the ears, trying to act like we work on, for someone in Washington, D.C. and all that nonsense. As we communicate telepathically, but we're here. Okay. So he wanted to make sure that he was protected. He was well protected.
Yeah, very good. And that's the way it was at the bond gate too. We had some really good protection. He says the next one will be even twice as much, even better. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So he's talking about even bigger events. I don't know. So he'll talk to you about it.
I got him hooked up with some big venues potentially here in Titusville. I don't know if he's going to pull the trigger on any of those.
Yeah.
That are airplane hangar size, etc. That are huge. So that could be 700-800 people event. That's if there's tables and in the event. If there's no tables and we do a tent outside for the dinner and lunch, then it might be more like 1,200, 1,500. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he was talking kind of those numbers, across the country. This probably, if they have a bar in the center of the Ahearn, and he's saying they may move it for him. And if they do, we can get up to 6,500, maybe 700. But he's talking about 1,200 or more going across the country. So these are going to be great. Like your movie, it's a great reveal, and the stuff that on your shows. I saw some of the stuff you're coming out with. You're right on, brother. Good job.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. One thing we want to definitely do with this movie, if I could have my cake and eat it too, Mike, is to try and get as many police officers to watch the movie and the police officers to start digging We want the police officers to start turning those weapons in the right directions and to start asking some questions, because questions need to be asked and questions need to be answered. Tough questions, not just softball questions. Because at the end of the day, yes, some of them know what they're doing and they're troublemakers, because if you know what you're doing and you know that those ticket money is being traded, meanwhile, you're in the highest divorce rate profession in the world. Okay. A lot of drugs and a lot of alcoholism through the police departments behind the scenes at home, etc. And the highest divorce rates and the highest, trouble at home, etc. So if you're really out there and you know what you're doing and you got those kinds of problems at home and you're causing trouble out in the street, that makes you a troublemaker. Shame on you. But if you don't know and you want to get educated, this is your chance to get educated and start asking the tough questions, because I think, we're going to find out if you're a part of humanity or you're not part of humanity. Talk is cheap, right? Yeah.
And they've already started busting a lot of these cops with the fraud. I've been hearing upwards of 50% of police forces are in jail in some areas now. So we need to educate them. They probably get roped into some sketchy stuff, and everybody's been doing it for a long time. So they're just part of so we need to break them free from
absolutely
that.
Well, you see, Mike, I knew about the straw man for a long time. The only problem is I had a problem connecting the dots because nobody was really explaining it properly. They didn't really take their time, and they were trying to use big college words. All these people that go to college, they learn those 18 fancy words that they scramble around, use over and over again to try and make themselves sound more intelligent than everybody else. And I just dumbed it down. I just took it. I said, you know what? Okay, now I understand it. Now I'm going to dumb it down and I'm going to explain it, Mel Carmine way, right? I put the Carminism into it so that people could understand it and people could go and start doing the research, because they'll understand it for the first time. I think the movie is going to be very powerful. It's going to be $5.89. It's not going to put you in the poor bank, okay? Because I need to fund the next movie. The next movie is Donald Trump meeting with the generals in a private room, them asking him to run for president, him coming down the escalator with the sign in the background that says money exchange. And I'm going to tie in the XRP and the new financial system into the Q movement, into Donald Trump being part of that movement on both fronts. And we're going to explain the most prolific story in the history of the world. And now, because of artificial intelligence, we can actually make it look like there are actors in the room meeting with Donald Trump. I'm waiting to see this new software that my editors found. They're so excited to show it to me. And I'm excited to look at it, because I never thought I would be an ex-pizza guy being in the motion picture business through artificial intelligence. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's going to have to be like a 17-part movie.
That other little clip.
What's that? Sure, you can show the other one.
Yeah, good. I like this one too. They're both fantastic.
I'm about to tell you a story that is going to absolutely piss off a lot of people in the United States of America. What if everything you've ever known is a lie? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we've been bamboozled in ways that you can't even imagine. From the creator who dared to question everything in Dear Mr. President comes a revelation so explosive it will shatter your perception of reality. This is the biggest scam ever, and your government, it thinks that you are stupid.
And the whole fake system is set up. It's all fake.
The straw man, the greatest heist in history. Before your first breath, a covert system claimed you a ghostly double made of paper, a financial slave in a world you can't even see.
The straw man. I am not that fucking straw man. That's not me. I am not all cap letters. I am me.
They've used your name as currency, trading your life in a game rigged from the start. Basically, when you're born, they put some little ink underneath your feet, and they give you the all caps name on your social security or social slave number, okay? And that's exactly what you are. That is your bond number. Every document, every signature, every debt is an elaborate illusion. You go get a marriage license, it's a bond. You get divorced, it's a bond. You get a driver's license, it's a bond. You get a fishing license, it's a bond. You get a A hunting license, it's a bond. You get a ticket, that ticket gets traded. Driver's license, insurance, all of this nonsense. These are all bonds that are being traded in your name, and they're making billions and trillions of dollars. Once you know the truth, you hold the power to choose. The system will fight back. It will try to silence you, erase you. The choice is yours.
Yeah, it's truly powerful, Mike. And if people understand exactly how compound interest on top of compound interest on top of compound interest, by the time you're 19, you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. By the time you're born and they ink your feet, and by the time you turn 18, you're already worth. You understand? So this is what's happening. And to be quite frank with you, the reason why we're charging $589, I got a few projects that I need to fund. One of them happens to be something that's going to take social media down to its knees. Why do we need to take social media down to its knees? Why do we need to take the bull by the balls ourselves as podcasters and do what we have to do? Because we made the movie DearMrPresident.net. If you go to DearMrPresident.net, which is a movie about censorship, it's free of charge. Yes, that movie did get to the people that it was supposed to get to, including Donald Trump. I don't know if it caused him to do the executive order that basically says, hey, you can no longer censor podcasters like Michael and Mel Carmine and Nino Rodriguez and company ever again. We have an ironclad, but they're thumbing their nose at the rule of law, and they're still censoring us, including Rumble. Make no mistake about it. I sent a very elaborate email to Rumble. They have yet to reply. Okay? So I got to start tube1776.com. That's coming. Okay. That's another project that's on my table. So give us the money so we can fund these projects. And I promise you, there's never going to be any censorship on Mel Carmine's channel. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to go partners with all the podcasters. I'm going to make them all rich. You know why? Because I need my soldiers to be well funded. I don't want them scraping. I want them to be able to fight the New World Order and defeat it to the fullest extent.
Beautiful.
You understand? So that we can't wait for Donald Trump to just sign an executive order and expect some magical God to appear from the sky and all of a sudden, boom, it happens. No, it happens when you grab the bull by the balls and say, okay, motherfucker, I'm in charge now. Let's go.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know, maybe I'm wacky, but today with the artificial intelligence and smart kids like my chief editor, Mr. Goodluck, and people that he's running who are incredibly uber smart, why not? I just need the little piece in the back that is in charge of the money. So make sure that you guys get a fair share, a fair cut. So how many times has YouTube and all these social medias went and tweaked the payment system, always in their favor, not in your favor? How many times? I lost count. What if you had a company out there that censors, no censorship at all, with the exception of no bedtime stories to my kids with some testicle fucking people. All right. I don't want no sex on my channel, and I don't want nobody making any death threats. Other than that, you're able to talk about anything you want to talk about. Unlimited. And no more commercials. Gee, what a thought.
Yeah. I love it. All right, brother. How can people find you?
Well, they can go to Mel Carmine Podcast on YouTube. That's my main channel. And then I got like 7 other channels. And if you happen to be in Cape Canaveral, pull the body over and let's put it inside staying alive. Let's charge the body. Your body's exactly like a Tesla car. You know what I mean? A Tesla car can only go for 400 miles and it's got to pull over. I got to tell you a story about the Tesla car. It's amazing. The Chinese company, BYD or something like that, BYD, I think you know the name of the company. It's an electric car company. They went to an engineer who was an artificial intelligence software and told that artificial intelligence engineer software to create a recipe for a battery that could be charged in under 5 minutes. Well, guess what? They achieved that.
Wow.
They didn't go to an engineer that's a human being that's 100 times stupider than the artificial. The artificial intelligence is right now 100 times smarter than all of us. 100 times, and it's going to go to 1,000, and it's going to go to 2,000, and it's going to go to the point where they're going to be doing operations on bodies, and it's going to get to the point where the artificial intelligence says, hey, you guys are in our way. You're stupid. Can you please get out of our way so we can go faster? Okay. In the next 5 years, 6 years, you're going to think you're living in a science fiction novel. I promise.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on and sharing your info, and we'll look forward to sharing more of your stuff in the future. So.
You're awesome. Thank you for inviting me. A big kiss to your beautiful wife.
Absolutely. Cheers, brother.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Let's get back to David Wilcock. That's love Mel. He's got some great stuff coming up. He's going to help change the world. Now, David Wilcock, was he helping to change the world? Sure, he did a good job. But what happened to him? Was it a strategic extraction, as Carrie Cassidy calls it? The SSP and dead or missing scientist. All right, so she's got a nice article here in Project Camelot. You can get her videos and stuff here. Leave her a donation. So it talks about UFO-linked scientists who warned my life is in danger before she was found dead at 34 becomes 11th mysterious case. So there's lots of suspect stuff here. Exposing the SSP to the world. That's what we're trying to do. I've been doing that. Carrie's been doing that for a lot longer. The deeper picture is this has been going on for decades. The only question is whether Trump and the White Hats are seeding this info out into the media on purpose to expose the SSP to the world. According to William Tompkins, Navy intel, like Bill Cooper, whistleblower, who supposedly fell down the stairs shortly after calling me and telling me he could never speak to me again. Now, William Tompkins had done a show with David Wilcock, and then Carrie got him and did shows, and he was supposed to come on another show, and he said, I can never talk to you. Don't call me ever again. And then he fell downstairs and died, right? This is the way this works. Now, did he, or did he go into some kind of, other program? So he was going to talk about the extent of the child trafficking / reptilian infestation on planet Earth. So they either killed him, strategically removed him to underground, undersea, or off planet colonies. Moon? No, probably not the moon, but lots of planets out there. We're in Venus, Mars, Saturn, so forth, the moons in Saturn, Jupiter. So lots of places that we could be hidden and continue his work. Or are they holding him at a black site? This indicates there is a war on for disclosure between the Trump White Hat military and the dark magicians of NASA that cater to the reptilian side of the SSP. So pay attention. This story goes deep. Now, if you go to Carrie's site, Project Camelot, I highly recommend you watch the John Lear. It's fantastic. It's got all 3 parts. Like I said, I listened to it, and then there's another one that you can listen to as well. So he went down the rabbit hole, I think almost a decade ago. I think it was 2006. She just released it, or was it 2017? Maybe that's when it happened. So almost a decade ago, and she's re-released it. So the whole show. Now another aspect of this where I come in and started, having some of these problems. We'll talk about after we listen to this. So again, Carrie Cassidy had someone on her show, and I'll talk about this after we listen to what Fox News is sharing.
Okay, this is a story that we're sticking on Outnumbered. It has now gone to the new chapter. The U.S. House Oversight Committee will now investigate the mysterious deaths and disappearances of now 11 scientists. They'd all been working on high-level space or nuclear power research. and they have either died or mysteriously vanished since 2022, some with some strange similarities.
All right, so they're going to go into it, and they're going to have this one woman that is like completely clueless about any of this stuff, and she's going to whack out on it. But that's how most people are. Now, I looked at, David Wilcock. You can pull it up, David Wilcock death, and there's lots of information on that. You can go into 11 scientist deaths, and then pull that up, and you're going to see all kinds of articles on this one. Now, the reason why I believe this is deep state activity going on is because whenever the press starts to go, oh, it's all conspiracy theory, okay, huge red flag right there, right? And then they go into, oh, people are like falling for this and blah, blah, and they have all these people that are having these articles out there, and some of these, crazy, manipulated groups that are out there in the press that are putting out information. Then you have, it looks like it's all like, on the up and up, and then they'll insert some bullshit in there. Right. And they always do that, just like they did in this show.
Like leaving their homes without phones or wallets. Committee Chairman James Comer says a new coordinated effort is underway to find the answers.
This is something that could be very serious. We know there are many countries around the world that would love to have our knowledge and nuclear capabilities, and these are the people that were at the forefront of it, and they're either dead or missing.
Law enforcement has not drawn.
All right. So this has been going on like we have been telling you guys for decades. So now Trump brings it to a head, right? And now the deep state is really flailing at this point, in their little Muppets, like Fox News and some of these other broadcasters are going to give you a little piece of the truth, and they're going to couch in some bullshitty, right? Which is basically going to turn people off because it's MK Ultra information that they're trying to disconnect you with the reality of this secret space program, guys. All right. So very, very interesting. If you look at some of this stuff, you're going to see the disinformation that's out there. And you guys with good critical thinking, you're going to see right through it right away. All right. Hats off to you guys. You guys have learned over the years not to trust these mofos. All right. So let's go in.
Link between or among any of these cases. However, the mystery is still prompting some fresh questions, like this one from our own Peter Ducey.
Do you think it's possible that some foreign spies could be scooping up our scientists to go build something?
That would be the most likely explanation for a lot of this, and that's not out of the realm of possibilities. I mean, there's been activity of foreign countries interfering with or bringing over scientists from other countries.
Lisa, you looked at.
Let's misdirect, shall we? All right. So, the real culprit is the deep state, guys. So this is who needs to be revealed. And they're going to continually, play these games back and forth. Well, it's probably, some foreign government is stealing our scientists. What about the ones that are being killed? Right? What's happening with that? And so answer all the questions. How about it? Now, think about it. They're just now coming to this. 11 scientists are missing, probably more at this point. 13. Tracy's telling me 13. I don't know. So anyway, so David was the 13th, and there's a 12th out there floating around out there. I don't know. But now think about it. If 13 Girl Scouts that were selling cookies disappeared and or were killed, you think there'd be like a massive, investigation all over the country? Hell yeah. How about school teachers? 13 school teachers that disappeared. How about 13 housewives that were just sitting at home, just got snatched up? How about, on and on and on. So this is another big red flag. They're just now getting around to this, and they're like speculating that maybe it's foreign spies, right? Such bullshit.
Like you were watching a movie.
That's what this feels like. It feels like we're living out.
All right, so let's go with the airhead first.
Some sort of sci-fi novel here or movie. We're talking about some of the most advanced scientists tied to national security. So in a large population of people, of course, deaths occur. But when you're talking about this smaller pool of highly specialized individuals in a cluster in such a short period of time, it seems a little bit more unusual. I have to read some of this information from Amy Eskridge, who is one of the scientists who allegedly died of a reported self-inflicted gunshot wound. She was on a podcast in 2020, and she was saying that she was going to disclose she had discovered some anti-gravity propulsion information, and apparently that's widely discussed by UFO researchers who have claimed this advanced technology is what allows alien spacecraft to achieve impossible speeds. So she had discovered this. She was working on this anti-gravity, novel foundational work regarding anti-gravity. She was talking about how she was being targeted both psychologically and physically as well as a result of this. She was worried about her life.
All right. So we all know about this, but she's speaking in a way that this is just so out there, conspiracy theory stuff, right? So discounting this through her, actions and the way she's describing it.
And then, so she hired a British intelligence officer to help her look into some of these threats against her. And then they allege that an unknown suspect fired a directed energy weapon at her, causing burns across her body using powerful microwaves. So when you read that, I mean, it sounds insane. But yes,
all right. So it sounds insane. This is the average person here, right? So they're giving you the perspective of the average person, and they're saying insane. It sounds insane, all right? Like it's not real. Like these people are making this shit up. I can tell you directed energy weapons are real. I've had them directed at me, all right? And we've seen them burn down cities. So we are all on board with this, but here is, Fox News, which is going to MK Ultra a large group of people with the bullshit that you just saw there.
Why my face was like that when you had started this show off.
Lovely as always, but shocked.
Yeah, because even just taking into that, what she said on the podcast, it seems insane. But, I don't know. It's pretty crazy stuff. I hope we get to the bottom of it.
Well, and Emily, this is the part that we know that we can talk about via podcasting or reporting. Imagine what we don't know, and that's what the House and the federal government want to get into.
It's such a great point that hopefully...
All right, so we go from uninformed to someone that is informed, evidently. So you're going to get both sides of this.
And this is where sort of my faith lies, that all of the people who have the high level, top secret clearance abilities are working furiously and feverishly to discover exactly what the commonalities are, because all we see is this pattern, or what seems like a pattern. But you're absolutely right that, what they're even working on, we can't even articulate, frankly. Right. And right as you said that, I actually recently I always listen to Sean Ryan podcast.
Yes, I can articulate it. And David Wilcock articulated it. Carrie Cassidy articulated it. This has been going on for decades. All right. So now we're getting it to the point where it's breaking into the mainstream media, and they're going to bounce this all over the place and misdirect and confuse and disinfo.
The interview he had with a gentleman named AJ, who was the victim of one of those DEWs, and to hear the immediate and complete, total debilitating effects of one of those weapons that China and Russia have admitted having, that it took us forever to sort of admit to, but that lies in this world. It is quite easy, frankly, which is why it's totally horrifying, to debilitate someone in a way that's through a building and is by targeted lasers and microwaves and things that, again, I can't even understand. So we should be looking at everything, because that is how we narrow down exactly what happened. And at the heart of this are 11 at least family members that lost their loved ones. So my other question is, what are the families saying? And
all right. So you're going to get the misdirection in the mainstream media, guys. So still, we have to do our own homework, our own research, and look at this stuff. Like David Wilcock's death, right? Like you heard from Mel, he's on it. Good job, Mel. He's like, oh, I'm up there in Colorado, the police there, and like put him on the spot. Good job. So, we're going to get any insights, any revelations, any results? No, I promise you, this is going to get bantered back and forth. And it could be for several reasons. I say two reasons. One reason is the deep state. All right. They want to continue to hide this information. So they have the dimwits in Fox, talk about it, banter it back and forth. In other broadcasts, CNN, they're all stupid with it right now. So they're doing that. And people are like, sounds stupid. I'm not even going to follow it. All right. That's their intention. Now, they've been doing this for years. They're expert at this. All right. Now, two, it's the white hats. All right. And I saw somebody in the chat said, maybe he's gone to Valhalla. Right. So, yeah, maybe with all those other people that are there. Right. It's one of those things that happens. I can tell you, I've been in several programs where me and like one or two other people, the only ones who know about this, and completely compartmentalized. Right. And, I will go to my deathbed with this information because disclosing it would be, it would reveal way too much. All right. So that's some of the things, that are out there that has to be protected. And then there's some things out there that we all should know. Right. These, I hate to call them aliens. They're like, basically, some of them might be our ancestors, that, seeded us here. So we have a lot of this information that's already been revealed to us. Those of us that have, like I said, the critical thinking and can look at this stuff, we already know this to a great extent. We're just watching if this stuff gets revealed. Now, to distract people and to, make people think twice about revealing this information at this time in this place, because they want to continue to manufacture and control their information and, have the technology for themselves, right? And manipulate us with it, right? Like the director is your weapon stuff, right? Total bullshit. So at some point, we get the upper hand, which I think we're pretty much at that point. We being the ones that are awake, aware, and, wanting this to, reach the rest of the population. But you're going to continue, like I say, to have the Mockingbird media come out and distract us and take us off direction, disinform us, make us feel like we're stupid because we're following conspiracy theories. That's a conspiracy theory about directed energy weapons. Wow. At this point, it's kind of like the 9/11 buildings being hit by aircraft. It's all bullshit. At this point, I think everybody's gotten that. Maybe there's still a few consciously compromised people out there that still believe the false narrative. But at this point, most of us are awake to this. And because of that, we're awake to the knowledge that a lot of this stuff is manipulated. So we question everything, right? Everything. And we don't let these guys get away with their stupidity. Now, Kerry Cassidy, in the past, did an interview with a gentleman called, at the time, he was calling himself Bill Wood, right? And eventually he would come out and say his name was Bill Bruckbreiter, right? So I saw his videos, and this was when I was working for the CIA at the time. And I was like, the stuff that he was talking about, he said he was a Navy SEAL. He went into a specialized program where they're sending missiles into villages to blow up innocent people so that the people of some of these towns would get, very angry with the U.S. and continue the wars. And he said he was part of these, and he got sick of it and decided to break free. So what happened? Well, the military, came after Kerry Cassidy, and she's like, well, you want to take me to court? We'll just expose all this stuff, right? And so, things happen. I'm very observant. I was watching these programs, and I said on social media, this guy seems legit. He talks about some of the stuff in the SEAL program and so forth. That's legit because I was an instructor and all that kind of stuff. Now, let me give you a little backside on that. So here I was the senior instructor in first phase where the Hell Week is, right? At one time, we noticed they're trying to push through missile techs, kind of like Bill Wood's talking about, right? These were people that were not meeting the standards, and we're trying to, say, okay, you're not meeting the standards, so you're not going to continue. We were trying. They being the commanding officer and some other people were trying to push them forward. I even had the commanding officer come down to me, and after a bunch of these gentlemen quit that were part of this program, evidently, as we look back on, and he said, we're going to put them back in. And I was like, yes, sir. Well, we made sure that they quit, and they quit good after that. Right. So he didn't have any say. So that's the way some of us work, guys. So I've been pushing the envelope for a long time. So we also started to see that in our Hell Week, they were trying to push these guys into a Hell Week class. The guy that was the officer that was running the phase, remember, I'm the senior listed, I'm the gatekeeper, right? Our officer of the phase came up to me and he said, would you mind if we put this boat crew into the class? It was a boat crew full of quitters. So again, as we would find out later, they're all missile techs that they wanted for this special program, right? So I looked at the guys, and the guys are like, hell no. And I was like, no, sir, we're not going to allow those guys to come in. He's like, well, would you mind if they did a Hell Week separate from ours? And I was like, I don't care what you do, as long as they're not in our class. So off they went, and they're all happy with that. Well, there was one time where we had pollution, or so we were told, along the coast, and we did, from Mexico. They didn't have a good treatment plant down there, so they were releasing raw sewage into the ocean, and it was polluting the water and causing some problems. So we couldn't. It had reached a level where we couldn't do our Hell Week. So they flew us out to San Clemente Island to do our Hell Week, and so we're like, yeah, we're flexible. Yep, we're going to do what we need to do. So we went out there and conducted a Hell Week. We come back, and the guys from the SEAL team said, I thought you guys went out to San Clemente to do Hell Week. And we're like, we did. And he said, well, somebody was running a class here. They were running those quitters that were missile techs. Bill Wood, right? So he's disclosing on 9/11 missile that hit the Pentagon. He talked about it. He disclosed how, like I said, they were sending missiles to continue these wars, blowing innocent people up. And they really came after him. And so there was a pattern that I was seeing. I talked about it. Lo and behold, the CIA really came after me then, right? And I'd been working with the CIA for a long time. I walked on water with the CIA. Everybody wanted me to be in there, wherever they were. All right, I went to all the places where there's lots of violence and bloodshed and all kind of crazy stuff, and everybody wanted me there because I did an unbelievable job as a leader and operator and all kind of stuff. So they started to lean on me, and I was like, oh wow, what is this all about? And I wouldn't figure it out for many years later, right? Like I said, they basically drove me out of the CIA, ruined my life, stole all my money, tried to completely crush me. The only thing that saved me was I had a lot of silver and gold. And you better bet you that I have a lot of silver and gold now, right? So these are the things that these people do, guys. So Kerry Cassidy has been involved in this for a long time. David Wilcock was involved in this for a long time. Is he in Valhalla or or is he off world, or was he really killed by the deep state, or did he kill himself? It remains to be seen. But I would say stay open-minded, like I always tell you guys. All right, just be open-minded about it. Don't get hooked into it. Don't get crazy one way or the other. Right? It is what it is. And I see a lot of you guys are like downing because David's gone. Just be open-minded, right? Be open-minded. All right. Yes. Becky, you drove by the Pentagon, then you know that was bullshit what they said about a jet. They never found, they found like this one wing particle, and the engine that they found was for a cruise missile. Hello. So it's in our face. It's in our face. These criminals, all right? They're always trying to do this shit. All right. So what's going to happen in the Middle East? I believe that we're going to put boots on the ground at some point. And that's what's going to be the thing that drives this. Now, how long will that take? I don't think it's going to take that long because we've basically crushed them, Middle Easterners, in every war we've been in, crushed them, right? And we're better today than we've ever been before, guys, right? Now, what I think is that we'll have special forces, some Marine types, and maybe some other groups, 82nd, I don't know, 101st, maybe some Rangers or whatever, will reach out to certain areas that, just like we saw when we invaded Normandy, there were groups that were there that guided the allies to certain areas so they get better results, they were protected, and so forth. We're probably going to see the same thing in Iran, right? We're going to see people there. We know we're going to see people there that are active, underground type militias and so forth, that are not literally underground, but, as far as like being outward. So underground type, hidden. And they've been active, I think, already, blowing some stuff up here and there and shooting some people that need to be shot. They're going to be helping us take that country, and it'll go down a lot faster than if we're coming into a country that was completely against us, right? So we saw this in Iraq. We saw this in, I don't know, where we just go. Probably going to see it in Cuba, right? And we saw it in where we just like take those people down. That southern area. I want to say Louisiana, but it's not Louisiana. Somebody throw in the chat. Geez, what's that country just like kicked ass in? The NAR's definitely going to go up. Venezuela. God, thank you so much. Geez, I get into these different things. So anyway, Venezuela. Now think about it. Now Trump and team basically just had a 2 million gallon oil tanker that they seized that Iran was shipping to China. Maybe with this taking down the Iranians and holding up the oil running through the Gulf, we're going to kill two birds with one stone, right? So Venezuela was sending cheap oil to China. That stopped, right? And we're doing the same thing in the Gulf. That stopped, right? Maybe they're getting it from Russia. We haven't stopped that yet, but whatever. They're not getting the oil that they need to conduct a war, right? How about that, all right? You think you see a bigger picture now of some of the things that are going on? Let's look at some other things that are happening in the States, right? We look at the big picture a lot on this show, but we really need to be also concerned and focused on what's going on here in America.
This is Russian mob that's running this.
Russian and Armenian. So I stroked the Armenians.
All right. So is it really Russian and Armenian? Or is it one of these gangs from the South, right? The cartels. Sure, there's probably all kinds of cartels and mafias here in the United States. But look what they say about what he's doing in California.
Apparently. The Russians actually got a hold of somebody who knew my mom and said, they called, and then that person then called my mom and said, the Russian mafia wants me to tell you to make sure Nick doesn't come poking around our fraud. Like, that's not a joke. We were driving in LA. I was working on a separate video. Somebody called my mom, and she apparently knew some people and she had my mom's phone number. She called my mom and said, the Russian mafia wants to make sure to let you know to have Nick not come snooping around our businesses.
How's that make you feel?
I was like, well, I'm probably not going to go check out the Russians. But it is scary because like the Somalians, they were threatening me publicly. Like they had their people talking in these chats. They were out doing this press conference. It was like they're trying to sell a book. Like they're like Gavin Newsom. They're trying to sell his own book. These people are doing press conferences and whatnot. The Armenians and the Russians, they're a lot smarter than that. They're not.
Okay. So you're like, how does this relate to David Wilcock? It's all the same. It's all the same. Get out of line and we're going to crush you. We're going to kill you. Right. And those around you, your parents, your wife, your children, your dog, your parakeet, they're all going to die. Right. And if you're on your deathbed and you talk, we're going to still kill them. Right. So don't think about going to your deathbed and talking either. So this is some of the stuff these guys play. Right. So this fraud, who do you think funds a lot of that secret space program stuff for the dark side? Yeah. The mafia groups, child trafficking, the drugs, the weapons trafficking. And a lot of these Congress people are part of this, guys, right? Like Ilhan Omar. It's the same Gavin Newsom. It's the same thing, funding the same group that's controlling us on multiple levels.
Doing these press conferences about trying to protect their fraud. And so they're going to work in a lot quieter way. So that was very scary when my mom did get that phone call.
How's your mom take that?
Like now, we're not like used to it, but it's like, hey, Nick, we need to be cautious. Which isn't fun.
Shit, man.
That was a little crazy, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's serious.
Yeah, that was serious.
I mean, that's serious.
Because I mean, these people, like we talk about like the mafia or gangs, like it's real. Like there's certain parts in America where mafias or gangs do have control. But you don't.
Just like those people that control the information from the UFO, from anti-gravity programs, from the nuclear programs, all these different things, guys. They have hit teams that actually come from the mafia. JFK had a lot of mafia guys that basically shot at him on that day, that fateful day, right? So there's a lot of this that's going on. We need to be aware of it. It's a big operation. It's a big operation that Trump's undergoing. And just like I've alluded to, part of the operation is to foil the Chinese as well with this, controlling the oil at this point. So that will, undermine their process and their ability to, push and foment and cause problems, across multiple areas. Just like Iran, we're keeping upwards of $500 million a day from going into Iran's coffers, which they use to basically pay Hezbollah, Hamas, and a host of other people throughout the world in the South America, Venezuela. Hours, I think less than an hour, I think, when they went into Venezuela and got Maduro, Special Forces guys, Delta boys. An hour before that, the Chinese ambassador there in Venezuela was meeting with Maduro. An hour before that went down. Little signal there, right? All right. So these are the games that are being played. Is David Wilcock still alive? Did David Wilcock shoot himself or hang himself or commit suicide? Or did he die a natural death? Or it's all up in the air right now. And what they release is always going to be suspect to me, right? I'm pretty much with Kerry Cassidy that he basically was slipped into a different program where he's going to probably continue to do really good stuff. I think David was really suppressed in the last several years of his life here amongst us. Now maybe he'll be able to branch out and do other things without any consequences or any pressure or anything like that. And imagine that. Imagine a world where we don't have the deep state anymore. Wow. It's going to be cool, right? All right. But we're going to have to go through some pain and, problems, in that process of, eliminating them and all the cray-crays that are, have no idea about any of this stuff and going to flip out and have their little temper tantrums. It's going to be very interesting going forward. All right. All right, guys. Stay in the love vibration, because that keeps your intuition open so you can watch this stuff before it comes at you. Right? So it's served me quite well. And of course, get into LifeWave. All right. LifeWave, the energy patch, the X39, which basically activates your stem cells. And now we have the water machine, which basically you ingest water into your body. There's only company that has a water machine that does that, right? So great stuff. Great technologies are being revealed. Yes, those were suppressed quite a bit and still are from the deep state and the evil medical institutions that are out there. But we're getting them out there. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. And we'll see you guys next time.